Good morning, everybody. Happy hump day. Joe, welcome. Appreciate you being here, man.
Very, very happy to be here. And this time I did not visit Snoozeville.
Population one. Yeah,
Population one.
yeah.
But
That's our hey,
I'm very
listen,
happy to
Joe,
be here.
you gotta be visiting there once in a while. I'm just saying.
Yeah. Especially when I go to bed like at 5 or 7 or 9. So yeah. In the morning.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate the fact that you're here. Well, I appreciate the fact you're here every day. That you're here. You're a great supporter here, and I really appreciate that. And again, links to all Joe's stuff in the description, so make sure you're following him. As a matter of fact, we're going to be heading straight over to Joe when we're done here. I want to say hey and welcome to everybody from Piper Academy who's kind of piling on in here. And let's bring some up on the screen here. I was trying to bring up everybody on the screen here. That's a new. Oh, there it is. I was
That
like,
is cool.
there it is. There it is. It's starting to show up now. That's a new feature in StreamYard they just put in there. So I brought it up there, but we'll shout out everybody as that's kind of populating. So what do we got? We got Dylan in the house. Appreciate you being here, Dylan. Let's see who else we got. BC Port Corp. Always in the house. I appreciate that. Alexandra G. Listen, if you're a member, channel member, my queen emojis in the chat. Yes, population one. Yes, for Joe in that Snoozeville. We don't want to be doing like a hashtag Jesse needs sleep, like hashtag Joe needs sleep. Yeah, we don't want to go down that road there if we can avoid that. Buck in the house. Appreciate you being here. I don't know how. What's this saying? I don't know how I feel about this. It's weird with you guys not drinking. Yes, I know it is. It is a little bit weird, but that's okay. Be here Friday. We're gonna bring in Memorial Day weekend with a little bit of drinks this weekend. So make sure you're there Friday night, 7 p.m. Eastern time, as always. Let's see here. Yes, Alexander G throwing it all up there. I appreciate that. Oh, speaking of Jesse, here he is. Jesse in the house. Here you go. Jesse, Uncle Jesse emojis in the chat. Let's do it. Yeah, there you go. Drink for them, Buck. Thank you, BC. BC always got our back right there. Army Piper in the house. Piper, thank you again for throwing everybody over here. Hey, listen, I've got that premiere of Piper and I's interview coming up. Not this Sunday. This Sunday, it's me and Daniel Diaz. Following Sunday, June 2nd, 7 p.m. Eastern time, right after Billy Goat Tail. So make sure you're watching that. It's kind of funny. Piper and I actually recorded that maybe 6 weeks ago, something like that. And he's talking about the time frame that we're going to be dropping that premiere in. And I'll tell you what, he hit a lot of the stuff pretty much spot on. So you definitely gotta be watching that. You will appreciate everything that's there. Not to mention, Piper's got the alpha. It's that simple. That simple. Yeah, exactly. He's right there. Joe and I were just talking about that right before we started the stream. I'm sure Joe's going to kind of get into it pretty quickly. Robin Mulligan, appreciate you being here. Wow, I appreciate this chat. This chat is going crazy, and I appreciate having you guys here. Thank you. Don't forget, like the mod queen said, smack up that like button. Appreciate everybody for being here. And we got a bunch of people on X. I'll tell you what, X has been on fire lately with following the streams here, and I really appreciate that. Thank you so much, everybody. Thank you. All right. What do we got today? We've got some Bitcoin news, just some stuff that I thought would be interesting little tidbits that I haven't seen kind of talked about a lot on a bunch of other streams. So we're going to take a look at that. We've got some general economic information. Whew, boy, say that 5 times fast. I obviously need me some more coffee. And then we've got some other stuff from around the globe, some information about Kraken, Robinhood, and Binance. Before we, of course, talk about the Genius Act. And I love the last thing I'm going to show you is Elizabeth Warren during that whole discussion. I thought it was precious, her and her anti-crypto army mindset. All right, Joe, let's kick this thing off with a little bit of Bitcoin news before we get to you and your chart here. Let's see. Let's see if I can work this. I got a whole new screen for Joe and I, but it defaults to that one automatically, and I'm gonna have to get these off the. Whoops, Hang on. Still learning some of these new new things that I got here in StreamYard, guys. So I appreciate the patience. All right, here we go. A screen I set up for me and Joe, making that screen a little bit bigger for you guys. All right, so this first piece that I brought up here, Bitcoin news, is the Supreme Court in India says that Bitcoin and crypto need to be regulated, not banned. I'm good with that, right? I mean, we're looking at potentially the first pieces of crypto regulation here in the United States with regard to the Genius Act. Again, we're going to get to that at the end. But as it's quoted here, banning may be shutting your eyes to ground reality. Facts, man. As far as I'm concerned, those are the facts. You know, Joe, throw in whatever you want there, but we'll move on if you're good.
No, that's spot on. That statement's spot on.
Yeah, I mean, crypto's here to stay. We all know it. We've been here for a while. We get it. But for the people who are, and when I say people, I'm talking like pretty much everybody else in the population around the globe, they're not involved. They're just kind of hearing about this Bitcoin thing. They don't know what it's all about. They're still thinking, it's used by scammers and all this other stuff. So yeah, we need to be educating them, and it's happening slowly. Then now we're going to be talking about Australia twice today in two different things. This first piece is more Bitcoin specific. So I've got this one lined up first, and we're going to go back, and I'll tell you what, I don't know what the hell Australia is doing in that next piece. But before we get too far down that rabbit hole here, Australian judge rules that Bitcoin is a form of money, not an asset, potentially exempting it from capital gains tax. So assuming that again, I'm not familiar with what the Australian tax system is, but assuming it's similar here to the US, you don't have capital gains on your fiat currency. So it's, if they are actually making this or designating Bitcoin as a currency, that kind of changes everything in Australia. Really. And again, links to everything I'm talking about right now in the description. So you can go ahead and check out this entire article right here. Joe, I think that right there, this piece, wait, let me do it this way. This piece right here is like even better than what we just talked about with regard to India. What say you?
Yep. For me, I love seeing the progression of the openness to crypto, because back in the day, like everything, all the news that was out there, it wasn't even like a step. It was more like a whisper. Oh, what about this for crypto in general? Then you had these countries starting to like thinking about adopting, and then slowly starting to adopting it. So now we're kind of like doing like baby steps or learning how to crawl. And now with the president and everything else, now we're actually standing up and we're taking our first steps. So we are so early in the game. It's unbelievable. 5-10 years from now, we're going to be walking. 20-30 years from now, we're going to be able to do a light jog and then forget it. After that, let's go. Moon mission.
Yeah, bada boom.
Yeah. But we're at the very beginning. So yeah.
I agree. I just want to throw this in here because BC always seems to have the knowledge. I'll tell you what, between him and RMT, it's like they know everything about everything. But seriously though, man, BC saying, referring to the tax system in Australia, that it's similar to ours. Most first worlds, so like countries, have a similar laws and just different numbers on how they tax. Thank you, BC. Again, channel member, BC Port Corp, emojis in the chat for the win. There we go. All right, Joe, are you ready? We're gonna. Oh, actually, wait. I lied. I got one more thing. And this. Okay. Let's start with this. I am no fan of Jamie Dimon or JP Morgan Chase, but the volume on this is a little bit low. So we'll do our best to kind of listen to this, but there is captions. So by all means, it's only about 30 seconds long. And about midway through, this guy, who shouldn't be anywhere near money or power, in my opinion, is sitting here basically telling you, and when I say you, I'm talking the proverbial you who use JP Morgan Chase for banking services, that, you know what, he's going to allow you to have access to Bitcoin, which I'm sorry. Sometimes you just want to walk up and punch somebody in the throat. Yep. And so that's how I feel when I listen to this guy. All right, let's I'm going to turn it on. Like I said, it's about 30 seconds. The volume's a little bit low. I apologize in advance, but again, captions are there, so by all means you can read it for yourself. All right, let's do this thing.
I first, I look at the Bitcoin universe, leverage with the system.
So I don't know about anybody, but I can't hear it. What are they pretty much saying? Or do you have the
right here? He's telling he's not a fan of Bitcoin. Right here, he's going to let you buy it, and they're going to custody it and put it on statements for clients. Again, I didn't. The only reason I chose to use it was because it had captions. So, yeah, but that is literally it in a nutshell right there. Hang on one second. Let me just take this off the screen real quick. And then I'm going to bring up your chart, Joe. But I'm sorry. The absolute arrogance of this guy is like, I get it. Yeah, I'm sorry, Alexandra G. Like I said, it was really low. I did my best to kind of bump it up. But I kind of wanted everybody to at least see that it's I'm not making this stuff up. It's out of his own lips here, and it's just aggravating that this attitude still exists, even if it is in the TradFi space. We need to keep getting the word out there. We need to keep getting the word out there because we need to be changing this attitude of these people who have a bigger microphone than us, trying to go and basically crap on this space.
Yeah, okay. So, for him, not that I'm defending anybody, but it's kind of like a sales pitch, and that's what salesmen do. Where it's like, there's a limited supply. It's for VIPs only, but you know what? I'm gonna let you get in, but if you get in right now, I'll let you get in. So what you think is like, oh, exclusivity, you're gonna let me. I'm gonna get in right now. So in that aspect, awesome. But the other aspect is dude's a jerk because like you don't need to let me do anything. Like I'll find a way. But that's only if you know that there's another way than him. So
exactly. Joe, you hit it right on the head, and that's my point with the idea that we need to get more of this information out there as much as we can, and share this, man. Share this information, and the people that you're following, if they're putting out great information, share it. Just share it. We need to educate people. Okay, my soapbox is done. I'm going to need Joe's blood pressure meds here in a second. Holy crap. All right, Joe, are you ready to go talk about Bitcoin?
Let's do it.
All right, it's all you, brother. Go.
All right, so we're really close to all-time high. We can see it, guys. We might have an all-time high party, either on this stream or possibly on mine. It's really close. I have this on my other charts, but so I'll put it on this one too. So all-time high for this on Binance, of course, depending on what exchange you use, depends on what number it'll be. But for here, it's 109,588. We went as like literally 109 within like $100 about. So do I think we're going to go to all-time high today? Very strong chance. What happens after that? Well, there's a lot of liquidity sitting up here. How do we know that? Well, because everybody is more than likely going short here. Once it broke above this level or right in this range, people are going short. It could be people shorting the break of the all-time high itself, because as soon as it comes up here, it might come down. Now, these levels, these diagonal lines, these are from the previous cycles. These are very important levels, and these levels they hold up. I mean, look, it's on the daily time frame, and we have this level right here, which went really nice. Our next level is up here. I really want us to, potentially hit one of these numbers, and let's just kind of let's see. Yeah, you can see the bottom. So for 113, which a lot of people are calling for. That would put, well, that wouldn't be here. So let's just say in November of this year, 2025. It's way over here on the daily. November. Come on. Almost there. November. We're looking at around 127. If the price action respects these zones, which they pretty much have been. So we're looking at 127 in November. And again, this is just doing the trend lines. And if it goes here, great. Could it go to higher? Sure. Could it go lower? Sure. Could this be the top? Sure. Like, we never know what's going to happen until after the fact. Now, I do want to point out one thing. For everybody who does divergence and moving averages and point of controls and everything else, just know that nothing is set in stone. And when I say that, because I don't want people getting wrecked by hearing other people say, well, it broke the POC, it's going to the value area high. No, it can do whatever it wants. Or it's going, because it broke the 50 SMA, it's going to the 200. No, there's a high chance that it might go to the 200 and then hopefully find support. If not, well, then it breaks it. Now it's resistance. It's very important to, man, I really hate this because I'm trying to show y'all Bitcoin and here I am teaching. This is the thing that I hate about myself is that, so it feels like a job interview. Tell me the worst quality about yourself. Well, I like coming in early and I stay late. That's basically what I feel like right now. I really hate it because I teach, like that's the thing I do. One thing I do want to point out here, we have divergence. And this was a question. Whenever I ask a question, just to let you know, I already know the answer. So here's a question I asked, I believe it was yesterday, day before, on somebody else's stream. And I just want to see what they think. Here we have a high and a lower high. This is on the, this is the MACD, this is the histogram. High, lower high. Here we have a high and a higher high. So my question was on the daily time frame, because that's what they were showing, because we have bearish divergence, how low on average does this go? Because it's daily, you think it has a higher number. And they said on average about 10% on the daily, which is pretty significant. So what you want to do as a new trader, if you're listening to certain people, you want to look for daily divergence and then on average, maybe 10%. However, what I teach is like nobody knows. They can find support wherever it wants. And the divergence just says that it might go down bearish, but it doesn't have to go down as much as certain people think. So let's just look here from the high to the low, and it's the same candle. How long did it go? From the very high to the very low, it went about 5%. And yes, the question was on average, but still, I mean, if it's an average, I would like to see this more, especially if it's a daily and Bitcoin. I would like to see go 7-8%, maybe even 10, hopefully, but 7-8. And even though you're thinking, oh, it's only 5 and 7 is 2% difference. 2% is a lot. Could be a lot. So again, nobody knows what's going to happen. If you have divergence, whether it's the 5-minute, 50-minute, daily, it doesn't say that it's going to go really deep. Now, granted, the higher the time frame, the better it is, the stronger it is. But I mean, I'll go more over this on my channel. And right now, I'm pretty sure I have a whole bunch of people who are watching this who know how to trade. No, Joe, you're teaching them wrong. Daily time frame, it's going to go deeper. It can, but it starts on the lower time frames. But the lower, I mean, it's kind of like it's like a jigsaw puzzle. But once you know about the pieces, it's a little bit easier to put them together versus having your mentors tell you what the picture is and for you to try to figure it out. But there's a lot of things. Anyway, I know I'm getting to teaching. Right now, to answer the question, Bitcoin right now at 108. I do see all throughout here is nothing but liquidation areas, liquidation heat map. I know it's just blazing right now, but I would look at a potential reversal right around 111, which is good. And I mean, like I said, we're about to break it. And here I'm looking for a reversal. And if it does come down, we're looking at lower time frames, probably the hour. And what we're looking for is a break of structure, which would be a break of a low before you try to short. It's very dangerous, though, at the very beginning or at the very top because, well, there's FOMO. It can come down, break your low, and then reverse, break the high, new all-time high. We saw that happen. Last time we were doing all-time highs, we're breaking it about every day, sometimes a couple times a day.
I was going to say a few times a day, I think.
Yeah. But yeah, that's one thing I hate as far as like what I do is I just get into teaching mode. And I know there's a lot of people out there that they don't agree with my stuff, but if you just think about it, it makes sense. If you take away all of the stuff that you've learned and you just kind of open your mind and think about what I'm trying to provide, like it makes sense. It doesn't matter. It can the daily divergence can go 10%. The 5-minute divergence could lead into that daily divergence. So the 5-minute time frame did a 30% divergence. So again, whenever it's ready to reverse, it'll reverse. And then on top of that, let's just say you do have bearish divergence. Does that mean that it's going to come down right now? The price could be coming down, but then can still be going up. And then so your bearish divergence is still there on a higher time frame. It starts coming down, and then it starts going up again. So you still have that bearish divergence. So you can have that bearish divergence for days and days and days until it's ready to flip. And then now all of your mentors are saying, well, see, I told you we have bearish divergence. Yeah, but we were getting wrecked all those other days until it decided to come down. Why did it come down? It was done going up. Boom, mic drop. That's what I teach. Simple.
And we're going to be able to see some more of that teaching right after this stream. So in a little over half an hour, Joe's going to be laying it all out again on his channel. So Joe, thanks for this. I appreciate it. And let's hope that between one of our streams, we're able to see a new all-time high. That would be kind of exciting.
I'm going to set my alert. But yeah, I'm pretty sure it's going to go off on this stream. I'm pretty sure. We'll see. Nice. I don't know. Nobody knows.
That's true. Nobody does know. And Techman is in the house. Appreciate you being here, Techman, as always. And yes, liquidity. Yes. I got that. That was awesome. All right, let's see. Nope, that won't work that way. I got to do this and then this. There we go. All right, we're going to move on. We're going to talk a little bit about general market information. Like I said, I got some information again about Australia. And we're going to talk again about Kraken, Binance. Yeah, bunch of stuff coming on. And, of course, the Genius Act. So stick with us for that. And if you haven't already done it, you know the drill. Come on, smash up that like. I appreciate that. I appreciate it very much. All right, this next piece I have here from the Kabisi letter. I love the Kabisi letter. It's not so much that this is great information. It's not even so much that it's crypto-related information. But in here, they highlight how the White House economic advisor is basically saying that U.S. debt is the safest bet on earth. And my comment, I did share this and I put my own comment in here and was basically like, so basically you're saying we're the worst. Come to, yay us. It's like, come on now. What the? I'm sorry. Maybe I'm just overly negative this week. I don't know what it is, but it's like it's just like complete stupidity to me. Yeah, you're the best of the worst, and you're like cheering that on. Yay! Oh my goodness. I don't know. Maybe I need crypto on the rocks now. But oh my goodness. All right, let's move on. The Kabisi letter again. I just want to mention this, and again, a lot of you are here from Piper Academy, and I know he's talked about this. Matter of fact, I think he did it yesterday, pretty much talking about this. But I wanted to just highlight it, and I'm going to read through what they have here, and I'll leave the chart up so you can see it for a second. Japan's bond market is imploding. Japan's 30-year government bond yield has officially surged to its highest level in history at 3.15%. For decades, Japan was known for low long-term interest rates. I mean, well, I'm not going to get into the whole carry trade thing. We can get into that on another stream. Now they're dealing with high inflation, shifting policy outlooks, and a whopping 260% debt to GDP. I thought we were bad, Joe. I'm just saying. I think we're at like 126% debt to GDP. Look at these 260%. That's insane. Absolutely insane. Holy crap. I can't even imagine. But then goes to explain where the problem is that we're talking about right here. On top of this, Japan holds $1.1 trillion worth of U.S. debt, making it the largest foreign holder of U.S. debt. Yesterday, well, this was now a few days ago, Japan's prime minister, and Ishiba, that's my best guess at that. Apologies for any butchering I did there. The situation is, as he quotes, worse than Greece. And if you remember what happened over in Greece, they shut banks down for a while, did a whole reset of their money supply, et cetera, et cetera. And here is the chart that goes along with this. What's BC is saying? Lots of hedging being done in Japan, India, and Europe. Yes, exactly. Yes, and BC points out about our debt being downgraded, as I was just saying. The best of the worst, and it's true, man. I mean, why would you like tout that information? I don't know. I don't get it. There's nothing to. It's like oh crap, wrong button. It's like there's nothing to see here, folks. Nothing to see here, but like yes, great for us. Oh my God. It just drives me crazy. It could be just because I'm getting old and I got no tolerance for BS anymore. I just don't. But anyway, I mean, it's worse the older I get, Joe. Man, I'm telling you.
I know it. I'm just waiting till I get so old that I can see a nice booty and just smack it, and they not. Oh, look at him. He's probably senile.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Look at that cute old man. Yeah.
I'm waiting for that age.
Oh man, I don't think either one of us are at that age yet, Joe.
No,
but not quite yet. All right. Here's the other piece about Australia, and unfortunately, it seems like they're going down this direction. And I didn't see Jay Violet here in the chat. If you are here and I missed it, welcome, by the way. And tell us, is this accurate? Is this what's really going on? We talked about this in the U.S. election when the other candidate was talking about potentially taxing and Joe Biden during his administration, potentially taxing unrealized capital gains. Well, it looks like that's exactly what's happening here in Australia. And I'm going to let this run. So it just, he definitely points out the lunacy of it. And it's about a little over a minute long. I think it's worth the listen. So let's let it go, and then Joe and I can hem and haw about it.
Tax on unrealized capital gains is coming. Our new very left wing of the party-dominated Labor Party will be implementing it. It's an insane concept. It's when the government taxes you on your investments' capital growth in a year, not the income that you get from your investments, but the gain in the market value of the investments. So if you've got a house and it goes up from being worth $800,000 to $900,000 in a year, you'll be forced to pay tax on that $100,000, even though you haven't sold the house or got the money yet.
Wow.
Now I know that sounds nuts, because it is nuts. As Damon Hayhow from the Liberty Itch podcast writes this week, unrealized literally means that the money doesn't exist. It's pixie dust, pure fantasy, a hypothetical thought experiment. No money has been realized with which to pay the tax bill. Hayhow says it gets worse because it'll be the government itself that'll be deciding the new value of your assets and your imaginary profits. So the same people to whom the tax is going to be paid will be the ones deciding on it. And it gets even worse because it kills the compounding effect. You get a compounding effect when you don't withdraw gains out of an investment over time. You know, your interest compounds and you get really good gains over time. So it's a bit of a complete disaster.
All right. It is a disaster.
That's horrible.
I'm so glad that here we dodged that bullet. Thank God is all I got for that. Thank God. I can't believe that there's a government that's actually instituting it, Joe. I mean, I don't know. It blows my mind. You're like he said, you're not even taxing like profits that you've received. Yeah, right. Real money. it's not even real money. It's literally digits, ones and zeros on a flipping computer
So
screen.
it's literally like they're winning already. You know, the government and everything else, they're winning already. But this is we don't even want you to try. Let's say you do buy a house and it goes down in value and you're like, man, I can't even afford this house anymore because like the whole market's going to crap. Let me sell it. I'm taking a huge loss. Plus, I got to pay the taxes on the huge loss. But let's just say the market's going great for whatever reason. And now I'm in profit for my house. Well, even though I'm not selling it, they're going to take out more taxes for it's like, man, it doesn't even make sense.
I know, right? It just boggles the mind. And BC saying some unrealized gains are going to be extremely hard to tax. Houses will be easy, stocks will be easy, but lots of assets will be easy to dodge, like physical gold. And sure, initially, but believe me, if it's physical, they're going to be coming for it. And I appreciate what BC's saying right here. They're doing it to the ultra wealthy for now, but that won't last long. And that's my point about making sure we like throw this out there, because when have you ever seen a law or tax or whatever instituted and then they say, oh, you know what, okay, enough of that, and they take it back? Never. Look at the income tax here in the United States. Never, ever. Look, listen, don't forget, President Nixon suspended the redeemability of for gold from the US dollar. That was temporary. That was only temporary. Oh, wait, here we are. How many years later? Hello. God. Anyway, so I wanted to point that out. Sorry, man. Yeah, it's overreach. Absolutely, Tech Man. I agree with you. Dave P is in the house. And yeah, that's right, BC. They say yes, originally. And yeah, what government is going to say, oh, okay, we've taxed you enough now.
Right.
Let's give you a break. Please. Man, I don't know. Like I said, I'm going to need Joe's blood pressure medication as we keep going here. I just am. All right, let's move on. We're going to talk a little bit. I just thought this was worthy of note. Kraken, I mean, again, U.S. cryptocurrency exchange, but obviously they're expanding around like most exchanges that are based here in the United States to the EU. In this particular case right here, Kraken wins EU license via Cyprus deal, bringing regulated crypto derivatives trading to all 27 member states. Now, I'm not all about the, way the EU seems to be going down the road with regard to crypto regulation right now and all that kind of thing. But the fact that you got Kraken being what looks to be the first license to be able to do this over there is, to me, a big deal, because no matter what, they're going to have something over there. So why not Kraken? I got some blood pressure medication for you. Thank you, BC. I'll tell you what, sometimes I get talking about this and honestly, I can just feel like the veins in my neck starting to pop out. It's like, oh my God. Hence, I'm here in crypto and trying to get people to understand crypto. Just saying. All right, let's move on. The next one is Robinhood. Now, listen, I'm no, whoops, did I get it? There we go. I'm no fan of Robinhood, especially when it comes to cryptocurrency and using that to buy crypto. Okay. I get it. If you're doing TradFi stuff, and for full disclosure, I do use them with regard to some of the TradFi stuff and that I'm doing with regard to trading stock and stuff like that. So in full disclosure, but here we go. They're looking to move more into this digital realm, and Robinhood submits SEC proposals to regulate tokenized real world assets. Now, we've heard about this, Joe, right? I mean, how many people talking about tokenizing real world assets? You hear from BlackRock to just us crazy people here in the crypto space, right? But now you've got Robinhood basically submitting their proposal to the SEC to be able to do that. So basically bringing Wall Street on chain. And yes, they highlight here a $30 trillion market. Yeah, that could be quite huge. Thoughts about that, Joe? Anything you want to add with regard to that?
Nope. I'm just happy
And
people
Joe,
are talking about crypto.
Yep,
Just
I
happy
got you.
about
If we do end up hitting an all-time high, a new high, Joe, let me know. Just like interrupt me, and we'll bring that up, and we'll show everybody. Other than that, I'm going to keep going. I appreciate everybody being here. Thank you, everybody. All right, so moving on, we're going to be talking now Binance. So we're hitting some exchange information right here. Binance files to dismiss FTX's $1.76 billion lawsuit, calling claims frivolous and arguing that U.S. courts lack jurisdiction. And I'm about that. I agree. I get it. The long arm of the U.S. DOJ, the SEC, all this other stuff that I mean we've talked about here, quite frankly, for a very long time. The U.S. overextending itself, as far as I'm concerned, and its influence across the world with a lot of things. In particular, right here, I agree that I think that, you know what, U.S. doesn't have jurisdiction here. Again, my opinion. What the hell do I know? Old guy on the interwebs. But I like the fact that they're at least going to shoot their shot here with regard to getting this stuff dismissed. And why not? Why not at this point, right? And I see All Set. I see you. Welcome. Appreciate you being here. All right. Let's see. Let's move on to the next thing. Now, this next thing, we're going to start getting into the Genius Act information right here. And I've chose this one. Now, he attached John Deaton. Again, if you've been on this channel, you know who John Deaton is. If you live anywhere in the New England area, you know who John Deaton is. You know he tried to unseat Elizabeth Warren for that Senate seat from Massachusetts. Pro-crypto lawyer, did the whole amicus brief thing with regard to Ripple, the Ripple case. So I appreciate his opinion. He's well versed in the space, definitely a crypto advocate. Got most of his wealth in Bitcoin, actually, as we found out as he was running for Senate in that Senate seat from Massachusetts. So I appreciate what he's got to say here. Now, as much as he attached this whole interview that you see on that was on CNBC with the sponsor of the Genius Act talking here, Senator Haggerty, that interview is a little bit too long to honestly play here as far as I'm concerned. But I do want to run through what John Deaton did put out as he prefaced sharing that information. So in his opinion, again, we all have opinions, right? If the Genius Act doesn't pass the Senate, there will be no meaningful legislation involving crypto before the midterms. And unfortunately, midterms historically go against the party in power. I'm not suggesting it will happen for sure, but recognizing history, especially considering Republicans control the House by the slimmest margin since 1931. And we've seen how that slim margin can just like crap falls through the cracks because they can't get full support and or enough bipartisan support to get bills through. But again, not looking to get completely down that road right here. Road Dog Crypto in the house. Appreciate you being here. I see you in the background there. Thank you. Appreciate first time here, man. Thank you. And appreciate the comments. Anyway, let's keep this going. The reason I have this opinion is because the Genius Act isn't controversial and truly is in America's best interest, regardless of partisan politics. Now, I was going to wait till the end to kind of break this out a little bit. But for those who came from Army Piper's channel, I very much believe a lot like he was talking about, where he sees the potential for a backdoor CBDC. I've kind of been harping on this for months, it seems like, at this point, when we first started talking stablecoin legislation as the Stable Act and the Genius Act have been working their way through Congress. And even back to some of the original streams that I did with BC Port Corp and the Crypto Burdell, where we were highlighting a lot of the information from these stablecoin bills and saying, it concerns me, the wording in these bills and some of the things that were changed in this recent back and forth with regard to the Genius Act, where it didn't get through the first set of procedural votes, is exactly what I was worried about. They're regulating the who can and can't potentially have a stable coin. Now, they're trying to focus on big tech because basically what are they trying to do? They're trying to make sure that Facebook doesn't do another Libra coin deal. And okay, great, I get it. But what they put in for that wording could potentially be used by a different administration to end up creating, advertently or inadvertently, a CBDC. Okay, so I slightly disagree with what he's saying here with regard to that, but I do agree with him in the fact that we need some kind of legislation like this to keep the ball rolling as we move through more common sense crypto legislation here in the US. All right, let me get through the rest of what he's got to say here. If anything, the Genius Act falls short because retail investors cannot receive yield directly from stablecoin users. To me, that's a completely different offshoot there, but okay. Disallowing interest to stablecoin holders avoids competition with bank deposits that would or could theoretically destabilize the banking system. Well, this whole sector can destabilize the banking system. So it had no shot of passing. The banking lobby is real. Well, facts. I mean, just ask Elizabeth Warren. She gets most of her money from them. I mean, right? I mean, facts are what they are. Facts are what they are. If they get this passed, a more complex market structures bill is highly unlikely, and there is no way BIT bonds or he's talking about the Cynthia Lummis bill is going to pass. Not to mention crypto-related tax legislation or consumer protections related to bankruptcies. A lot of stuff he's unpacking there that he's attributing to this bill. And yes, there is a whole lot of interrelation there. The bottom line is this bill did pass the procedural vote. It did move where now they can discuss it on the Senate floor. So yes, it's moving in the right direction. Yes, it is probably going to make it through. It would seem that they have enough support on both sides of the aisle with regard to making this happen. So I just wanted to make sure that everybody knew that was the vote that everybody was saying, oh, they passed it. No, they passed. There was a procedural vote that basically moved it to the Senate floor in a nutshell. And BC put a comment up here. I'm going to just bring this up real quick. What's the point of a CBDC when the US is essentially already a CBDC? They're pushing for less physical dollars to be used. Business refusing to accept cash on mass scale is the next big step. I get what you're saying, BC. I get what you're saying. But as we're moving more, get it, the US, I was going to say more digital, and people be shouting in the chat right now, the US dollar is already digital. Yes, I get that part. But when I say digital, I'm referring more digital in the way of crypto kind of scenario here. Anyway, appreciate that input, BC. But now, here we go. This, to me, was the best part of the whole damn thing. Elizabeth Warren looking very pleased about this act moving forward. And you can see her and her anti-crypto army mindset is just on full display on the Senate floor. And again, remember, she gets huge quantities of money from the banking lobby. End of story. Her, yeah.
My question is, how much money do you really need? Like she already, F the system. She got what she got. She has a whole bunch of money. Why not just say, you know what? Fine, okay. And then that's it. She keeps her money. She could probably try to, do a shell game and put it offshore or whatever. But it's her money. She already did the system, and just let it be. But they're so entitled to where, no, I want to keep the money printer going.
Yep.
It's
They
ridiculous.
do feel entitled. Yeah. Your facts right there, Joe. Facts right there. And you know what? Legit though. That's a legit question. That's a legit question. I mean, how much do you really need? And I don't know, Joe. I don't know. Guys, listen, that's pretty much what I've got for today. Joe, how's Bitcoin looking? How's that chart looking?
Bitcoin is check. Bitcoin's doing good. I thought it was going to come down. I thought it was going to break the 108.3 level, but it's still hanging tough. It did bounce right at that level. It was coming down to it. It bounced off of it. You want to see the chart? I have the chart up.
Yeah, sure. Let me hold on. Let me bring it back up here. We'll just leave it on this
so
side.
I'm watching it. I'm watching like a hawk. We broke our 9 SMA on the 5-minute time frame, so this is extremely volatile. It can go up, it can go down. The better time frames are higher, but I did see it across below the 9 SMA come down to our support level, and this is why it's very important to have these levels. And if you see somebody who has a chart that is kind of like this, and they have all these levels, I mean, really, like, what are you looking at? I mean, you can't even see, because everywhere is under support or a resistance. Like, you need to be able to identify key levels of support and resistance, and that's what I show you how to do. But right now, what I'm looking for is a break of 108.3 to potentially, this will be catching the top, which is extremely dangerous, potentially short, very low, very little amount of margin, because there's a really high chance that the FOMO could continue, comes down a little bit, and just shoots up. But it'd be really cool to say that you short at the top, and that would be cool. And of course, you're going to see that on everybody who has a group on X tomorrow. If today we do top it, I shorted the top, or it's like, man, get out of here. But
Right.
it's all luck, because you never know. You never know when it's going to run out. You never know when the FOMO is going to stop. But when the FOMO starts, I'm pretty sure, like right now, this is just in case we don't hit all-time high. But if we do hit all-time high, I'm not shorting, because, I mean, sure, it can come down, break a level or two just to trick people, and then boom, goes up another 5, 10, 20%, and that's a lot for Bitcoin.
Right. Excellent. Well, I mean, we'll stay on top of it. And obviously, for those who are here on YouTube, you're going to be forwarded straight over to Joe's stream right after we're done here, which is going to be in about 10 minutes. And, about 10 minutes. I can see we've got 40 people on X. Appreciate you all being here. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. Here's the thing, though. I mean, I can't forward you from X over to Joe's stream. You're going to have to go find it on your own. I mean, I will end up sharing it once we're done with the stream on X. But in the meantime, stream's just going to end. So, bam, you need to come on over to YouTube, and you'll be forwarded straight over. Appreciate it. Joe, we're done, or as far as I'm concerned, we're done. Anything you want to tell the people, and then maybe you can head over, get yourself ready, and if you're done ready early, we'll head over there early. What do you think?
Yeah, that sounds good to me.
All
so
right.
for those that don't know who I am, my name is Joe. I go by Trade Intuition. I don't think that I know it all. I am not one of those fake gurus that say, "Oh, I'm humble, but look at all the stuff that I have, and look how smart I am, and look at what I do, and join my group." I don't do any of that stuff. Do I have a group? Yes, but it's only if you want access to me almost 24/7. I show you how to trade for free. I am that confident in my training ability and my teaching ability and my style that I give it to you for free. I prove to you that I can make you money, not financial advice. I prove to you that I can make you money. And then if you want access to me, you join the group. There's all these YouTubers are out here that are millionaires or multimillionaires, they're that because of the group they sell. They're selling you the hopes and dreams of learning how to trade. When in reality, in my opinion, I think the system should be, here's the information. If you make money and you want access to me, well, then that's when you join the group. Not to, oh, well, make me rich by wanting to be rich. So you got to pay me. So I don't do any of that stuff. And I encourage questions. There's a lot of people out there that shy away from questions, or they'll say, oh, well, I answer that in my group. So join my group. I have admins that will help you. And they give you this big old sales pitch that it's basically so that they can make money. And once again, I'm so confident in my, now, do we lose? Yes, I will tell you that. And matter of fact, at the very beginning of our shows, I let you know we were in this trade and we lost. And for me, it's all about the psychology of trading, because you do not, as a trader, want to look at X or YouTube and let's just say you lost 2-3 trades and you're feeling down. You're like, man, like, what's wrong with me? And then you're watching YouTube and X and everything. Man, look at us, and we did this and we did this, and look at our gains and blah blah. And now you're like, man, I feel like crap. But what they do that so they can trick you with the emotions, because they're all hyped up and everything, and now you join their group only to realize they're posting 15, 20 charts a day, and they're wrecking you. But yeah, so I go live every day, Monday to Friday, 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, Saturday and Sunday at 4. I do bonus streams sometimes at 12 midnight, 2 in the morning, 9 in the evening. It just varies. So make sure to have the notification bell on. My goal, and I say this all the time, my goal is to get rich with you, not because of you. Everybody else, they want more members so they can buy another Rolex, so they can buy another house, so they can, flex and just show you all the stuff that they're doing from their trading, when in reality it's their trading group that's funding their lifestyle.
Yeah, facts here also. And Joe's not kidding when he says damn near 24/7 access. I've messaged this guy at some god awful hour of the morning that when I couldn't sleep, and damn, like within a couple of minutes this guy's answering me. I was like, holy shit, he's up.
Yeah. So for me, I take pride in that. On average, I answer DMs in under 10 minutes, which is extremely fast, especially for somebody who has a YouTube channel and everything, a group and everything else. There are times, on occasions, where it'll be an hour, and that's usually because I'm doing a live stream, or I'm making a video for my group, or I'm doing an extra video for YouTube. But on average, it's within 10 minutes, and I am really good at responding within 2 to 3 minutes. But I don't want to say 2 to 3 minutes, and it's like, hey, it's been 4 minutes. You're taking forever. Man, just be happy it's within 10. But on average, it's that.
And there you go. You'd get my voicemail, man. Yeah, facts. Hey, and most of the time, at that time of the night, guess what you're getting? Nothing. I got everything on do not disturb, baby. But Joe, not like that, man. Not like that. Appreciate that. All set. That's awesome. All right, Joe. I mean, we're gonna head over to Joe. You gonna want to head out, try and get your stuff set up? I know you gotta
get my stuff set up. Yeah, I'm gonna get my stuff set up. For everybody who's on X right now, is the perfect opportunity to come over here to the YouTube channel, and then of course, Crypto Coin Mindset. When you get here, definitely smash the like. Let us know in the chat that you're here, and then what we're gonna do is we're gonna get forwarded to my stream, and on my stream, I show you how to trade in the most simplistic form. A lot of traders, they don't like the way I trade, because in reality, it really shouldn't be this simplified. They have all these indicators and they have all these different variables. It's not easy trading, but I make it not as difficult. So if you're interested in that, make sure to come from Twitter or X to YouTube. Let us know you're here, smash the like, and then you're going to be forwarded to my channel and ask me questions. Asking me questions does two things. One, verifies that I know what I'm talking about, because you do not want to follow somebody who is really great at talking, or, has a way with words. You don't want that. You want somebody who's going to make you money, not financial advice. You want somebody who's going to make you money. So ask me questions, validate, verify that I know what I'm talking about. And two, it will not only help you with knowing the answer, but it might even be a different answer than you might have thought of, or maybe another mentor taught you. And then not only that, but also it'll help out new traders that don't even know to ask that question. So if you haven't done so yet, get over here to YouTube. We will see you soon. I thank you guys very much, and we'll see you on my channel. Take care.
All right. Yeah, we'll see you in a few minutes, Joe. Thanks. Yeah, Joe, I appreciate the fact that Joe is here literally Monday, Wednesday, 11 a.m. Eastern time with me and gives you guys a look at the charts and answers questions if you ask them. And Dave P, thanks, man. Appreciate that. Appreciate you saying that. You guys are great. I appreciate you all. All right, so let me give you a quick update as to what's going on, a little bit of housekeeping for the Crypto Coin Mindset channel here for the next at least few days into next week, because again, you got the Bitcoin conference going on next week. I know a lot of the people who are here in the chat are going to be at the Bitcoin conference. I will not be there. I actually, for those who didn't attend, maybe I think I said it on the last Crypto on the Rocks, that I'm going to be hitting a couple of conferences up in my area. So the Free State Bitcoin Digital Asset Conference is coming up in October. I'll be there for that. Matter of fact, Username and I are going to be getting together. We're going to be going and grabbing ourselves a beer and meeting up for that. So if you're going to be at that conference, let me know, because maybe we'll work something out. We'll try to do a small get together for that. And then there's another blockchain week. Boy, say that 5 times fast. Blockchain week in Boston. So I'll be up at that. So those things are coming. And whoa, here we go. Tex-Mex, Biomex in the house. Appreciate you being here. Crypto Billy, appreciate you being here. Thanks, guys. Awesome. And I'm guessing we just hit an all-time high. I see it's getting popped into the chat here. And Joe, of course, just left with his chart, but that's okay. We're going to head over to his stream, so just sit tight. We're going to forward you straight over there, and you'll be able to see him celebrate that new all-time high on his channel. Okay, the last of the housekeeping things, again, because I won't be at the Bitcoin conference in Vegas next week. So what have I got going the rest of this week? Friday night, as always, 7 p.m. Eastern time, Crypto on the Rocks. We're going to be talking, I don't know. Who knows? Here's the idea. Crypto on the Rocks is unstructured. You come on, shoot the crap. The conversation kind of goes wherever it goes, and I kid around all the time saying, and even sometimes we even talk about crypto because it goes so many different places. In the last couple of streams, the last couple of weeks for Crypto on the Rocks, thank you to Daniel Diaz. Shout out to Daniel. I'm sure he's probably not here right now. He's probably doing his lobbying thing right now down in some state to try and get gold and silver as legal tender. But thanks to Daniel, we had a over $4,000 gold giveaway here on Crypto on the Rocks 2 weeks ago. And then last week, there was some silver giveaways, just a couple. But you know what? It was great. Got everybody involved. Appreciate the fact. And again, thank you to Daniel Diaz. Information for him in the description. Make sure you're following him. As a matter of fact, speaking of Daniel Diaz, for those who don't know, I got a new a training series for people new to cryptocurrency, trying to kind of guide them on a better path to entering the space and getting the information they need, connecting with the right people, and having the right mindset to head into this space and succeed here in this space. So that is dropping every week, a premiere every week, 7 p.m. Eastern time. This Sunday is my talk with Daniel Diaz, and we're going to be discussing what is money. If you didn't watch him during his X Space on the Billy Goat Tales, and then last Sunday he did a follow-up to that for like the first hour of Billy Goat Tales. It was crazy. It was awesome. Great information. So make sure that you are tuning in for that this coming Sunday. And then finally, Monday, even though it's Memorial Day, my plan is to do an 11 a.m. stream. And then I probably won't be doing a stream with BC Port Corp and Crypto Bedell this Monday. However, a week from Monday, we're going to have Allie from Metalmark in the house. So make sure you're here for that, because Ali also added and gave the lion's share of that gold on the Crypto on the Rocks stream away. Going to be a great conversation with him. Stay tuned for more information about that. Okay, that's it. We're going to head on over to Joe's stream. I appreciate everybody being here. If you haven't already done it, you know the drill. Smash up the like button. And we are going to head out. Again, appreciate everybody. Thank you for keeping that live chat alive and moving. And man, it was moving really quick there. All right, we're out. I'll see you in Joe's stream. Don't forget when we get there, CCM raid in the chat, and have a good day.